Welcome to Cantina Vizsla. For the safety of the bartenders and any other patrons, remember to keep all arms, legs, tentacles, or any other extremities you may have to yourself at all times. So come right in, grab a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Coming to you from the Panic Room in the crap part of the cantina, I'm Sparrow. And with me, as always, is a man who some say has been on a side quest of 3D printing helmets this whole time. All I know is I call him Stan.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Woo! Wait, it's actually a week later. Holy crap.
Went through months, weeks, days. He doesn't know where he is anymore. He thinks he's time traveling now.
It's all the fumes from painting helmets all day.
Oh man, the fumes. And also joining us, as always, well, sometimes, more often than not, Cottman.
I am back. How are you guys doing?
Oh,
doing good.
Getting back into the swing of things, listening to veiled references of you playing Star Wars on other shows. For
traitor.
Unfortunate Relic 5 Zebs give you away. He thinks he's real subtle about talking to people. And then they pull out a Relic 5 Zeb, and I'm like, yeah, there's not many people that go through and brag about that one.
Sean definitely outed me, definitely.
But, we'll get into that here in a little bit. Stan, what have you been up to this week?
Oh, not much. Just got another cat. Fostering this one. Had one come up in the rescue center that had to get a leg amputated, so we're helping get him back to health. He's a sweetie. Watching TV. Forgot to mention it last week, but checked out Mitchell's vs. the Machines on Netflix. Pretty good. I recommend it. And then we started Girls 5 Eva on Peacock. So yet another streaming service. Is pretty good. Really funny. A lot better than I expected it. It's kind of a Tina Fey 30 Rock type of humor. So if you're looking for something to watch other than Bad Batch, check it out.
Or Mighty Ducks, maybe.
Yeah, I've been watching that. It's still a show. Things happen on it.
Is that any good?
It's a show.
Okay.
Things happen on it. It has references.
It depends on what you grew up with. If you grew up watching the Mighty Ducks, it's basically just a extended version, a TV series of the movie. So it's that style that going through. So people will go through. Oh, it's corny. Oh, it's this, and it's like it's the Mighty Ducks just in a televised version of it. You just have to go through and have
It's Mighty Ducks the Next Generation. So, I mean, it's a continuation of the movies, like said 20 years. It's like if Cobra Kai wasn't as good.
I think there's a generational gap there of going through and growing up with Cobra Kai versus Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
See, I'm actually right between both of you, and Karate Kid was like 5 years prior, and then Mighty Ducks was like 3 years after, so like I know both of them.
Oh, there you go. So, you got two shows you can watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, what you...
So, Cottman, what have you been up to this whole time?
Well, this last week was interesting, being kicked off SWGOH for 2 days.
How was that? How did your life feel? Were you shaking the whole time? Did you feel the Stockholm syndrome kicking in? What?
It was yeah. Okay. In one way, it was immensely freeing. Like, I actually sat down. My son wanted to watch Bad Batch. I sat down, watched it with him. Didn't have any electronic things distracting me. So in that sense, super freeing. I didn't feel the pull to check it at noon and to check at 6 and so forth, so on. Flip side had the most anxiety-inducing FOMO I could possibly imagine, considering when it happened. The double drops, the Echo event dropped and I missed it. All of that, and it was like that was really tough. But like after like the first, I want to say 12 hours of like trying to check like obsessively, like I just let it go. So
now, when you got back in, were you still able to get to the Echo event? Was it still going on, or did you miss it altogether?
Nope, it was still going on. I was able to do it. There was still a lot of glitches. Like when I got back in, I could only get the top row of each store. So that was gone. They still have not rectified, as Sparrow alluded to, the Zeb fiasco took down from R5 to Gear 1. Also, they stripped the mods off of Zeb, Magma Trooper, Grief, and Hermit Yoda. So those 24 mods are just gone.
Did you ever think that was just the SWGOH gods telling you that you've been doing it wrong the whole time?
Not at all.
So you are getting a make good. We'll probably kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but it's like what, 10,000 crystals, 50 Echo shards, like a whole bunch of mats and all that.
Yeah, the
CG,
make good was that was legit.
Yeah, CG, if you're listening, you can just delete my Zeb altogether. I will make that trade
for the. Right. I think they're actually gonna refund all the gear and 24 mods as well as the make good.
That's pretty
because
awesome.
they mentioned at the bottom that they're still investigating what's going on there. So
the mods could be really good or really bad that way.
Yeah, that's the thing, because like Zeb's, I don't think they were all 6A, but they were at least all 5, or not 6A, 6E, but they were all 5A at the minimum.
Well, pretty much all my mods are 5A, so
yeah,
I don't really have anything or many equipped that are less than that anymore. It's like going through and trying to delete mods right now. It's like anything. I don't have many mods that don't have speed secondaries anymore, or at least a little speed. Yeah. So it's like going through trying to delete mods. I'm like going through and deleting stuff that's only hit for speed once, which really feels odd. It's like, oh, you only hit speed for once. Get out of here now.
Yeah. I did the same thing. I also deleted a bunch of mods once I did a Hot Utils makeover. I was like, well, if you guys aren't going to get chosen even for, Mob Enforcer, you're probably not going to get used. So I went and deleted so I could open up some space.
So other than your anxiety and FOMO there, what were you doing with all your extra time?
Well, watching Bad Batch, as the rest of us all were, but I also, Mythic Quest Season 2 came out last night, and watched the first 2 of that, which I love that show. It's hilarious.
Did they drop all the episodes at once, or did they go through, like, all the other Apple TV Plus shows and doing one a week?
They dropped the first 2, and then it's going to one a week from here on out.
Okay. I'll have to go through. I watched the first season, so I'll have to catch up on the next 2 episodes.
Did you see the quarantine episode?
Yes.
Okay, did you see this special episode, Everlight?
I don't.
Because they released 2 episodes in between the seasons.
I don't remember if I saw the Everlight one. I did see the quarantine one.
Okay, so then you should have 3 episodes to go. Okay. Yeah, it's all really good. Other than that, I saw the Mortal Kombat movie, and I'm here to tell you, Stan's take on that really sucks some serious ass.
It's not a good movie.
That seems to be the running consensus. Stan's opinion.
Of course, it was not a good movie, but it was fun and it was true to the series.
Okay.
I want to hear. Okay, tell me why you didn't like it.
The tone was just off. Like, yes, the source material is absolutely ridiculous and dumb, and I don't know, they just, like, I either wanted to know it's knowingly be dumb, and they kind of did that, or just play it super straight, like, still knowing that it's dumb, and they didn't do that either, so I don't know.
Well, how did they not play it super straight? I thought they did.
I don't know. I'm just being a grump.
Stan doesn't like artistic licensing. He goes through, goes, I have a way of I think it should be, and if it's not that way, it's wrong.
Well, it's not necessarily that. It's just
not correct.
I know what I like, and I didn't like that.
Well, I mean, they like legitimately, like, when Kung Lao did his fatality, and
That was cool.
did flawless victory. I mean, he said it with a straight face. There was like no winking or anything.
Right.
I thought they played it pretty straight. I thought the way that they explained the powers, I thought that was kind of cool. I really enjoyed the, what do you call it? The Sub-Zero being kind of like this immortal assassin.
Yeah, he was cool. I liked his moves. You know what? I think
Yeah.
I think I've narrowed it down. I think it's just the main
Okay.
character.
Okay, so Cole Young. Yeah, I could get behind that. That was weird, but
Not a
On
Mortal
the flip
Kombat
side-
dude. His
Yeah.
special power was dumb.
okay, fair.
His girlfriend looked like his mom, or his wife, or whoever. Yeah, it's all his
right,
fault.
you know, okay.
Let's go with that.
Stan doesn't
You know-
like his choice in women, so obviously.
Right.
He didn't have any cats.
Yeah, I didn't see a single cat in that whole movie, so that's negative star
I
there.
get that. I 100% agree with his with your assessment of his special power. I thought that was kind of lame. But again, I get why they did it. They needed a proxy for a 30-year-old thing because of, like, teenager Joe Schmo comes in. It's not like he's going to be like, "Hell yeah, Liu Kang."
Right.
So they needed a kind of like a audience proxy. What about you, Sparrow? What have you been doing?
Oh, hopefully done, or at least nowhere near as much. Basically living out of my sister's house, waiting for the baby to be born. She went through and had a little girl, Macy, on Cinco de Mayo at pretty much 5 o'clock. So
Nice.
Margarita birthdays is going to be a thing for a very long time now, which I am all about.
Dude, her 21st birthday is going to be insane.
There's going to be plenty of tequila, and Uncle B is going to be all over that. But other than that, on Steam, they have Evil Genius 2. So basically, you go through and it kind of reminds me of Minions. On going through and just building your evil empire, getting henchmen, and trying to take over the world. It's a pretty fun game. And then just started today, because I think it either came out today or yesterday, Jupiter Legacy on Netflix. It's from a writer that apparently, I don't think this was ever made into a comic, but Stan Lee actually told the writer to not write anymore. And it's definitely a superhero movie. And it kind of, whatchamacallit, on Amazon. The Bad Boys.
Boys.
Oh, The Boys,
The Boys.
Yeah, it's not as far as that, but it's more along that line. So it's kind of like,
Okay.
if I had to go through, it kind of fits into that same universe, but it's before the superheroes actually start just going through, and it's like, oh, you go through and rob stuff, I'm just going to kill you. It's kind of like that cross of when they're actually going through and trying not to hurt anybody and just trying to take over everything, to
So
going
it-
through and all of a sudden the superheroes are starting to get killed and they want to fight back, and if the person they're fighting or the robber that went through and killed someone, they want to go through and be able to take revenge, or at least go through and be able to stop them without anybody else getting hurt.
So is this a standalone thing, or is it like based on other properties?
That I don't know. I didn't look too far into it. I saw one little piece of it on a news article and then picked it up today and was going through. I've 5 episodes in. But so far so good. It's definitely interesting.
I forgot another thing I watched on Netflix, similar vein, Thunder Force. Did y'all watch that?
I have not watched it.
It is not good. Like,
well, okay. Is it better or worse than the Velocipaster?
Oh, it's better than that as far as like production value goes and all that, but it reminds me of an Adam Sandler movie. Yeah.
Oh man, let's get into something better, like
yes,
what
please.
you actually completed in the game over the course of this week. So what have you been up to in the game there, Stan?
Just playing Conquest, trying to get all the feats done with that. Finally maxed that out. There's a few feats I didn't get. I don't think I ever got the marked one. But ended up looking up some guides and finding some good teams to get some of the critical hits and turn me to removal, all those dumb ones. So I'm just waiting for the payout to get a Razor Crest unlocked. That's about it for this week. What about y'all?
Go ahead, Cottman.
Well, I took Hunter to R5 just because I got him done. I got a 145 pull, so I took him to 7 stars. I took Mace Windu to R3 to finish up the Jedi Master Kenobi requirements. I had the other 4 done already. And I've almost finished Conquest, but with the make good that CG's sending out, plus the box I have unlocked, I'll be getting Razor Crest when the boxes are released. So that's a pretty much... Oh, and I threw a Zeta on Hunter as well. So...
Well, as you should.
That's pretty much it.
If you take a character up to R5, it almost pretty much guaranteed to throw the Zeta on. There's enough Zeta mats floating around now that it should be done.
That's the thing, and you mentioned that either the episode right before the hiatus began or one of them, and I've actually started to really think about that, and that's what I've been doing is if there's any characters that I have in Relics that haven't gotten a Zeta, I'm like, all right, you're getting closer to the front of the line.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the way I look at it. If it's Relic, I'm going to find a team to go through and put them on. So even if their Zeta does a minimum amount extra, it's still doing something, and I have the Zeta mats laying around. It doesn't hurt anything to put it on the character right now, and go from there. It doesn't do any good on a character that's sometimes even gear 12 right now. I have characters with Zetas that are gear 11, but guess what? They just sit there. I don't use them for anything, and then I use a character that's at Relic level. It makes sense that they're getting put on a team, even if it's for defense, that they should have a Zeta on them.
Yeah, and just make them the best that they actually can be.
Exactly. Same way going through. As soon as I Relic them up, I'll go through my mods also and actually put decent mods on them also. Because no need to have a high gear character without any decent mods on them. It's just a waste of a character then. Waste of gear if you aren't going to be using them. But
yeah,
I went through and got Mon Mothma done. So Mon Mothma's done. Relic 5 and started farming for Jedi Master Luke.
Is he going to be your second or your third? Third. Who do you have already?
Rey and Kylo.
Okay.
So I'll go through and have Jedi Master Luke, Rey, Kylo, and then I'm going right after Kenobi. Already started going through, and I have General Kenobi sitting Relic 6 or Relic 7 right now, and I have enough. I'll I'll take him to Relic 8 as soon as I get the signal data. I have to go through and farm up a lot of the Cantina energy nodes and everything, get all those pieces to be able to farm them up that high, and started gearing up Mace and Ayla also. So Mace is already sitting at gear 12 now, and Ayla's at gear 11. So they'll go through and get up, and I'll just start farming as the requirements get unlocked. Or announced, I should say, not unlocked.
Yeah.
And then I'll worry about either Sith Eternal or whoever matches up with Jedi Kenobi. But we will see. So let's get into the calendar. Is there any big upcoming events or anything like that this week on the calendar? And then we'll get into the news.
We got everybody's favorite mode coming up. Light side GOTB. So get your butts ready.
Get the Kiadi Mundi shards. Go through. Now we're going through, adding some more Jedi to it. Come on, Stan. It's getting there. Didn't you realize CG had this all planned out? It only took a year and a half to finlually make
Right.
territory battles doable, but
I am actually kind of looking forward to this one with Luke. With Luke now, I can actually get some waves. Ray's still hot garbage, but
Oh my god.
I had to throw it in. No, I'm actually doing well with Ray as well, but
If you are not getting 16 out of 16 with Ray, there is problems.
well, I don't always get 16, but I do better than I have in the past.
Come on. In order to go 16 out of 16 on there, you have to be very patient with Ray. It's more about like going through, keeping everybody with high protection, and timing out your attacks appropriately. Stan goes through and sees that ability to go through and do a big hit on everybody, and he's just like, boom, hit him.
Hit it, yeah. That's how I do.
He puts himself in bad situations rather than going through and just getting protection on people. He's just like, take him out now.
No, I'm like, hey, Ben, I need you to get to half health so I can do my saber spinny thing. Take him for the team.
You make him sound like he is a monkey, like flinging poo.
No, he's just getting shot in the face.
You're here.
Get shot in the face, but just half in the face.
You're here to let Ray do the work.
Exactly.
Oh man.
And you don't be a Galactic Legend and just sit on your ass. You gotta put the work in. Well, unless you're Sith Eternal Emperor, then he just kind of hangs out and flicks his wrist a little bit and dies.
Be gone, peasants.
Right.
Right. Is there anything else going on the calendar? Is that all we're looking forward to?
We're looking forward to that, or this happening, because that's a big difference. Territory War is still going on. I forgot to join last round, so I'm just sitting on the bench this one.
Wow, I didn't even get to play, so there's that.
You got like 1 million credits. You're fine.
But not 1 billion.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
Yeah, let's move on.
The calendar is now irrelevant for us.
Pretty much.
All right. So last week, not only did we have all the really no big May 4th events, we just had Echo into the game. We did get double drops. There were gifts in the inbox and everything like that, which was great and everything. But I was anticipating actually more events, which did not come. But heck.
Yeah, that seems like a day they should just unlock everything and just let you play it all.
Yeah, it was. I think this was pretty much the first time that we did a May 4th event in which we didn't have like at least one legendary event that isn't available currently pop up. Because usually it was like...
You're right.
They went through, Luke or CLS or Rey, Kylo, or not Jedi Knight Rey, as far as like going through, one of their events would pop up and be unlocked so everybody could play them on May the 4th. Granted, it would only be open for like 2-3 days, but it was still open. We didn't have that, which was kind of odd, but I don't really think... But come to think of it, I don't think there's currently a legendary event that's... We're waiting for a year that everybody can't play currently. Maybe...
No, because Luke's already in the thing, isn't he? The Journey Guide?
Luke's in there. Luke would be the only one.
Yeah.
But still, I was kind of anticipating that or something along those lines to come through. But
yeah, I mean that's one thing the game really needs to ramp up is kind of this fun community type events. Like remember, like way back in the day, they would have like the Women's of Star Wars events and just little things like that. They could, Mother's Day is coming up. They could do some sort of event like that. Mothers of Star Wars. I don't know. Something.
Who are you going to have, Padme and Leia?
Sure.
Well, they didn't do Father's Day. Do you think Vader's going to get a fourth Zeta?
Right, the I Am Your Father Day.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, overall, I thought the event, what was announced, how they handle everything, the awards, the double drops, overall it was good. It was nice having double drops on everything. I mean, I would have liked to go through and been able to get double drops on the Galactic Legend tokens to be able to go through and speed up that farm, but I'll take what I can get.
They'll never do that.
Yeah. Well, at least not right now.
There's a sale on crystals, so you can get a few extra crystals. That's exciting.
Yeah.
What about just May 4th in general for Star Wars? It seemed to be pretty uneventful as far as the property at large went.
You mean other than Bad Batch coming out?
Yeah, other than that.
Yeah, other than a brand new show coming out. I mean, it was pretty uneventful.
Yeah, but look what Marvel did just the day before with that video.
Yeah, with all the coming up stuff. Like
why couldn't they do that with Star Wars?
Like that's it. Like we knew Bad Batch was coming. Like we could have got like the Rogue Squadron trailer or just a teaser for some of the other shows coming up.
They mainly something. Marvel and Star Wars are a little bit different. Like Marvel did that, released everything with upcoming events, but Star Wars waits for the convention to be able to do all that.
Oh, that's true.
So it's
that's true.
For Star Wars, it doesn't make sense to go through. It makes better sense for them to wait for the convention to go through, do all the trailers, upcoming events, or even Disney's shareholders.
Investor.
Events. Yeah. I was thinking D12 is one of them, but like going through their investor stuff to go through and announce things like that.
Yeah,
it's just different types of properties right now.
Yeah, we don't have a celebration until 2022, so we're going to have to do something before then.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do a digital version again around the same time to announce everything.
I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, we were all enjoying most of us were enjoying the May 4th events.
Yeah, say we what?
Yeah. So look, you went through and said you had Cottman. So Zeb went through from R5. He's now sitting at Gear 1, Level 1. What other oddball characters did it affect?
Grief Karga is now modless. Hermit Yoda, modless, and then Magma Trooper, modless. And that's it.
Okay.
So it was like everybody, it didn't even affect everybody that was locked out. So first off, the people that were locked out was a small percentage. But then an even smaller percentage had this problem where we lost Zeb and the three others.
So everybody lost the same characters?
Yep, everybody lost all three of the same characters.
Okay. Weird.
Well, some of them might not have lost those characters. They just never realized it because they didn't have them geared up.
That's a fair point.
Did you lose mods on Hermit Yoda? I don't have mods on Hermit Yoda to begin with, so what does it matter? Jerry? Why should Jerry have mods? What are you talking about?
But see, I like Hermit Yoda as a character. I use him all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, some players might not have been at that point in the game. That's more of what I'm thinking.
That's true.
Magma Trooper, I can see people not actually having mods depending on where they're at in the game, because yes, Magma Trooper used to be very good in a trooper team. As of right now, is not really a mainstay of a good trooper team. He's more of a secondary team that you're kind of putting on the sidelines. Grief depends on where they were with farming. Whether they farmed them up yet or they had different priorities. That's a ship hard no, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
as far as the farm goes. So people might not have farmed him up. So, I mean, there might actually be more people that were effective with those 4 characters and just didn't realize it because they have garbage mods on them to begin with or did not have them even modded.
Yeah, that's very possible. Well, we got a game update, some quality of life stuff. What do y'all think of that?
Definitely like the new character models as a whole. They definitely represent a lot closer to the new characters we're getting with Grief, all the Bad Batch, the Dark Troopers. So all those updates. Now their portraits, on the other hand, I mean, it looks like they're trying to eat the camera and have the camera flash blew up in their face. They are very shiny.
Yeah, like weird outlines. Like I like consistency. I like.
Can somebody tell me what the hell is going on with Rey's face? I mean, she went from having like a decent portrait to looking like she's got a malformed like 5 head going on.
It's just a portrait. You go into the character model, and like the character model looks so much better than it used to, and then you go out and it's like the portrait, and I'm like, whoa, what just happened there?
Yeah, the portrait's horrendous.
But I mean, overall, I'm glad they updated the character models. Just doing the portraits, that's definitely something that can go through and be down the line. It might just look odd right now until they update more portraits. It just stands out glaringly right now because it's the newest portraits that they released.
Well, they never fixed Vader, because remember how his like chest plate is like way over here.
Oh yeah,
ding dong.
They had a whole post
here.
They had a whole post on that and trying to explain on how that was normal.
Scoliosis.
What? It looks like he's got scoliosis of the wiener.
I mean, maybe that's why the chest plate's going through it's jarred.
So some consider unnatural.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It is what it is. I'm glad they're updating the models. The polygons are starting to come out. But the biggest thing with the update to me was actually the energy relocation and actually having all the energy on the screen, which to me is actually helping me. One of the complaints I had with Galactic Challenges is being able to go through and manage the energy, in which I wasn't wasting energy because I maxed everything out and didn't realize it, because I had to go through and do 3-4 clicks to be able to figure out how much energy I have. So this week's been a lot better as far as not maxing out, not wasting energy within Galactic Challenges, going in there, doing a battle or two just to try to knock down that energy to a reasonable amount so I'm not wasting energy anymore, which I really like.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. My only complaint on the energy is the order they put it in. I think it needs to reflect where that location is at in the game, like in the cantina. Like ships are on the left, and you have to scroll to the right to get the ships, so on and so forth.
I hadn't even thought of that, but that's actually a good idea.
It didn't bother me just because the common use energies are bigger, and as you go through it, it kind of tapers down. The font gets actually smaller with lesser used energy. So it really did not.
Well, no, the font's the same. It's the amount you have is a bigger number, and the max is smaller, which that's a little annoying to me, but I can deal with it.
Yeah, I go through and look at that, and I'm like, oh, those are usually the energies that I'm looking at more often than not. So to me, it catches my eye as it should. But that's more of a personal preference thing more than anything else. Just having them on the screen to me is a big thing.
Yeah. It's definitely a good
Agreed.
start. The challenge update's nice too. Just simming it all at one button, not having to wait those couple of seconds.
Man, I can't wait for tomorrow to go through and sim all the challenges all at once. No more.
Yes.
We can go through and do the old man comment. I remember when you couldn't even sim those, and you had to sit there on a Sunday and play every single one.
Yes, my God.
Why were you on your phone for an hour and a half? Because I was trying to do these damn challenges.
Right.
Do you remember even when they allowed us to sim it, and then we still had to wait 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that was a kind of a huge improvement. The only thing I'm really just wanting as a quality of life improvement at this point is reward all the prior tiers in these challenges. Or the assault battles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they would go through and reflect the the challenges. Just the regular like challenges, just the way they're doing those, and reflect the assault battles the same way. So if you do the highest tier possible, you get all the rewards from the lower end ones. That would be really nice, and that would definitely go through and more incentivize me to do some of the assault battles that are a little bit higher up, because I usually just go through and hit auto on them, and whatever I get done, because those upper tiers require sitting down for sometimes some of those battles are 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Oh, like the one where you use Kylo and Unmasked?
That and the one with General Grievous and the B1 battle droids, and against the Ewoks, in which you're just building up stacks on your B1 to try to go through some of those. And even then, like, you get towards the end, even if it's shorter, like 10, 15 minutes, but you don't know whether you won until the final wave, or going through to wave 4, and you just sit there over and over again to try to get through it, no matter what your real relics level are.
Yeah, definitely not fun.
I mean, it's fun when you complete it. If having to do all the lower tiers below it and just hitting auto and just having your phone sit there on is not really enjoyable. It's like, why are you doing this? Well, I know I can win and I need the rewards, but I don't need to pay attention to it. I mean, the big thing that I'm waiting on would be more, and which they kind of alluded to it, would be squad management for ships.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I mean, that is a big thing. To be able to go through, build 3-4 fleets, to be able to go through and set defense, offense on Grand Arena and Territory Wars. I still find they probably need to update the squad manager a little bit too, because that is getting rather clunky at times to go through to kind of sort through everything and clear out old teams to update them with new teams without, like, basically deleting a whole section and going through again, or you go through and build teams and you're scrolling forever to try to find a team.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'd like some more. Yeah, just more in-game mod management.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's that squad manager, or the squad builders, mainly ships, but anything with mods are just so clunky and hard to go through and navigate.
Would you say they're clunky or McClunky?
Oh man.
All right, I'll see myself out. It's been a good show.
He's gonna go 3D print a helmet now. Don't mind him.
Oh Lord. Well, okay. Do you think that just the squad builder is what they were talking about with the ship load of changes, or do you think they're actually gonna start bringing in more ships to like flesh out a second Galactic Republic fleet for Mace, or an actual Resistance fleet, or an actual First Order fleet, etc.?
I think.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead.
I think we're getting more ships. Yeah.
I think it's more ships.
I think it's both.
Yeah. We'll get more ships. I think we'll eventually get some PvE tables with ships. Hopefully, knock on wood. That's kind of what I envision. Or maybe we'll finally get that new raid with the ship phase. Yeah. Remember raids? How excited we used to be about those?
What, you aren't excited by the Challenge Rancor?
No.
More bot use. But, no, I think that basically alluded to that they were going to actually focus a lot more on ships. So I think that includes more guild-wise, so a raid or something, a raid involving ships. I think it's going to go through and involve bringing in more ships to try to get it into the ship meta more into a place of the current arena where you actually have a rock, paper, scissors match. And in order to do that, you're going to have to go through and add ships to round out. Like First Order, you don't really have a tank in there, so you can't build out a team. Going through Resistance, I mean, you can make... Resistance is okay as a team. I mean, you can go through and make it work, putting the ships together. And,
Houndstooth.
Yeah, you put Houndstooth, and they're very hard to kill, but going through it, you aren't taking out a Malevolence or a Negotiator consistently with it.
Ooh, hard disagree. I use it as a hard counter against the Malevolence.
I go through and place it on defense, in which along, like in Grand Arena, I put it on defense to go alongside with my Negotiator. So I have a Negotiator and then my Resistance fleet, and oftentimes it'll get a hold, which is all I'm really asking of it. But I mean, you get that hold, but I know it's going to go up against a secondary fleet of theirs. So it's going up against an Empire fleet or a Rebel fleet, which maybe a First Order fleet, depending on what they set on defense, but they aren't plowing through it. And Resistance, it's timeout. It's a lot of going through. I don't know whether it's missing like a tank or missing. To me, it almost seems like a little bit more offense for some reason, which seems really odd to me, considering the Millennium Falcon hits pretty hard, and so does Poe. But it's missed. So it might just be a tank or basically a support ship. Maybe it's a support ship that it's missing a lot. If you count the Houndstooth as a tank. If you don't count the Houndstooth as a tank, it needs a tank and support. You have a whole bunch of attackers, but a capital ship that doesn't support any attackers. All it does is really support tanks and try to prolong the fight.
The problem with Resistance, though, is just it's a lore problem. There's just nowhere in the canon are there Resistance pilots that could be.
You don't have to do pilots anymore. They haven't released a ship with a pilot for 2 years now. Other than Razor Crest. Razor Crest.
I'm making a Resistance joke.
I was about to say, are you triggering me there, Stan?
That's exactly, yes.
I mean,
total missed opportunity there. Yeah, there was some cool ships.
Fleet.
He's hoping for Kaz.
Get Kaz and Tordoza and Ejeric, and Bucket. You can even have a support. You can have General Organa's shuttle, the one that she brings down. They made a big thing out of at Galaxy's Edge.
I mean, they could even do as a tank or anything like that. They had the B-Wing, and they had the model already in the game.
Yeah, or they could do the T-Wing bomber.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, they have plenty of ships. I just think they're comments and everything were basically alluding to that they're going to be focusing on that arena. Now, like I said, I'm hoping it includes more ships along with a raid, the ship manager, and kind of building from there. But we'll see where it goes. Because right now the ship meta is just like blah.
It really is.
So it's really not. It's not conducive or fun to go and actually battle ships. I like going through it in Grand Arena. Well, I like doing Grand Arena about 6 months ago with ships, but right now it hasn't changed. So I set the same ships on offense and defense, and I see the same ships, and that's that. I think that's the only gripe with ships for me, is they haven't really done anything to change anything on that format for so long.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, I mean, Arena, you have a rock, paper, scissors where all four of the Galactic Legends can beat somebody else, and it's just negotiator malevolence. You can alternate, and everybody has them now. I'm starting to see these people I've never seen before, like, shoot up the ranks in Fleet Arena.
I'm seeing that in regular Arena too.
Yeah,
they're starting to go through and get a Jedi Master Luke, and they're just bombarding up there and just causing havoc because they're able to beat people. And I'm like, I haven't seen you in 5-6 years. Where the hell did you come from?
Yeah, and that sounds like so like cartelish or privileged of us to be like, well, you can't make it up here. I haven't seen you. But it's just, I think it's more of an indictment of how long the meta's been there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with them being up there. It's just, like you said, it's an indictment on how static everything has been in the game, in which those lower end people who either go through and find a team that they enjoy building and doing, and they aren't really focused on Arena, that they're able to go through, especially a lot of those people jumping up are Jedi Master Luke teams. So they're going through getting Jedi Knight Luke, getting all the requirements up, farming all the Galactic Legend tokens to be able to get them, and then taking them up to, a lot of them are all Relic 7 also. So it's a huge investment and a huge time sink to be able to go through and get especially a Galactic Legend and full R5, R7 Arena team around them. So that one I'm not as upset about, just because we're going through, we already had Jedi Kenobi announced, in which I'm sure that's going to shake everything up a little bit more. So that one's already progressing, and the ship one's just way behind because Negotiator Malevolence was there before before any of the Galactic Legends, including Rey and Kylo. And that was already the ship meta, and it's still there.
It's been forever.
Yeah. So, speaking of other things upcoming in the game here, I mean, Stan and I talked about it last week, which we might go into some spoilers here. So, if you haven't seen the first episode or two of The Bad Batch, you might hear some spoilers just on where this would going, just because we're going to be using those first two episodes to kind of get an idea of what's to come. I was definitely wrong. I thought for sure we were getting Crosshair, and that definitely did not happen. And watching the first couple episodes, basically said exactly why Crosshair didn't come into the game, and it was Echo instead.
Yeah, and see, that was the thing I read that was kind of hinting at last week. That I saw just as a description just out in the open, so kind of thought it was common knowledge, but yeah.
Which I mean, going through the rest of the season, that might change. So maybe they're going through and it'll be towards the end of the season. So do you see another Bad Batch character coming into the game to kind of round out the team, or do you think they're going to be sticking at 4?
I think they're going to kill him off. I think they're going to kill him as a I wouldn't say cheap, but just a kind of an emotional impact moment.
So they're gonna kill Crosshair?
I think so.
See, I think they're gonna catch up with Rex. Rex will explain how he got his inhibitor chip out, and that's gonna be kind of like their mission of season 1 is to like save him.
Yeah, maybe. But then they end up killing him.
He dies a hero sacrifice after he comes back to him.
Right, maybe. I don't know. That's possible, too. There's, I think, 16 episodes this season, so we got quite a bit to go through, which is nice compared to, these 8-episode seasons we've been having on everything.
So you think that's where the show's going? What about the game? Are we going to stick at the 4 characters? Are we going to get... Well, you think Crosshair is not going to be part of it. So do you see maybe a version of Rex coming in to round out the Bad Batch? Do you see Omega maybe appearing in the game to round out the Bad Batch as a 5th character? Someone else upcoming in the show maybe?
Yeah, I mean, we're not really knowing where they're going to go, but I could... If they're going to give Rex a lot of screen time and not just have him as a kind of a stunt character for an episode, I could see him doing that, but I could see Omega being a support character. If they're comfortable putting a child in the game.
They already have the child in the game.
Well, as a kind of a side character, not somebody you're going to target and shoot and kill.
I think she's coming in. I think Bad Batch will have 6. It's going to be my supposition. Just like Phoenix has 6.
You just kind of choose which one you want to go to based on
what's going on. Like if you need health regen, you'll take Chopper in. If you need protection, you got Zeb. Right. If you need that extra punch, you take Sabine. But you have your core of Hera, Kanan, and Ezra.
So are you going with Omega and Crosshair or Rex, or who you think the two are going to be?
I think Crosshair is going to be redeemed. I think he comes into the game. I think Omega is going to come in because they already released the teaser and she had that bow and arrow. And I think she's old enough, like she appears. I mean, I'm sure chronologically she's like 3, but
she looks about the same age as Boba.
Yeah, like she's about 13. You're right. So it's about 13. So, but she looks 13. So I don't. You guys aren't parents, but I sure as heck wouldn't mind like shooting a 13-year-old in the face every once in a while.
Hot take. Oh dear.
My wife just screams, "That's horrible."
But yeah,
in a holographic representation, of course.
Mm-hmm. So, not the real thing. Don't come after me, NSA.
Well, so yeah, the story could go anywhere. But what do you think of what's been shown so far? We had the first episode is about an hour and a half, hour 20 minutes, and then a follow-up 30-minute episode.
I mean, overall, I mean, definitely falls on the line of like Clone Wars, same type of plot development within it. So nothing to complain about so far. Definitely interested to kind of see where they take the Bad Batch, because to me it's just the overall plot lines they're kind of aimless right now, other than they're trying to get away / trying to figure out what happened to Crosshair, but they really haven't decided whether they're going to go through and try to rescue Crosshair, or they're just going to go through and kind of ignore that fact. So I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it more than I expected to. Just because of the characters were so just stereotypical and archetypal. I mean, they're the Ninja Turtles. You got your tech guy, you got your I guess kind of party dude with Wrecker. He's Michelangelo. Then you got your leader. Then you got like the broody one. I mean, they're the goddamn Ninja Turtles. But they're doing better than that. It's not quite as bad as I thought it would be. They're developing the characters. I'm enjoying that. The animation is beautiful to look at. I mean, it's still got the kind of the clunky style, but on purpose. As far as the animation goes, the opening scene was cool. Just seeing
that was amazing.
Young Kanan, yeah. Even though it was retconned a little bit, it was cool to see.
But see, I don't even think I would say 75% of the Star Wars fandom really knew it was retconned until afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
And then the biggest people that are throwing their arms, getting upset about this are also the same people that hated Rebels because it was a kid show.
Right. And this does make a much better impression than Rebels did, as far as
introducing
characters and kind of the plot.
I don't know if it actually does. I just think it's different because you already had these characters already developed over 2-3 episodes from the Clone Wars, where you started off with Rebels. Basically, it takes 3 or 4 episodes to actually get an understanding of the characters themselves.
And the dynamic that's going on.
Yeah. I think that's basically the difference between the two.
Like you said, the Bad Batch is clearly the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Rebels didn't have that. They didn't have these stereotypical things they were kind of lunked into.
I don't know. I mean, Ezra starting off was every Disney rapscallion that's ever been.
Okay, that's true, but then
he was so
you have
yeah.
Well, which is ironic because
Sabine was
live action Aladdin.
And Sabine was the princess.
Is she though? Because she was a graffiti artist with a Mandalorian culture background.
The princess that ran away from the castle. She ran away from her parents because she didn't want the responsibility, and she's running around with a whole bunch of scoundrels.
Well, then you could... Well,
Disney plot device. Disney plot device. I'm not saying it's bad. Right, I'm just saying it's there.
Yeah.
Okay, then lay on me. What was Zeb?
The animal sidekick.
No, he's the genie. He's the genie. He's the comic side relief. Or is that Chopper? The Chopper's Abu. Chopper was Abu. Zeb was the genie.
All right, you guys are messing with my head here.
He's gonna go back and watch Aladdin and be referenced.
I am, and I'm gonna be like, "Holy crap! The magic carpet is the ghost."
Hey, there you go. Hey. Yep,
it's all there.
All right, I didn't like any of that. See, I would have said the genie was the Bendu.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah. We're talking about the starting off and introducing the characters. Yeah. But I think overall, Bad Batch, I think it's going to probably draw more people in than Clone Wars did, simply because they're going to be able to focus that story down a lot more.
And see, that's the reason, that's the exact reason I would argue that Rebels is better than Clone Wars, because Clone Wars definitely had some amazing highs, but it was just so scattered. One arc you'd be with the clones, one arc you're with Jar Jar, one arc you're with the Jedi.
I think Bad Batch is going to benefit from being focused on a single story arc. And this is interesting because, we go from this millions of clones out there to stormtroopers, and what happened to all of these.
The way they've done that has been cool. But I will. This is my problem. All right. The first episode was amazing. I would say a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I mean, it was a little bit stereotypical. You kind of knew where it was going. Second episode, I thought just shit the bed. I would say 5 out of 10. I just thought it was meh.
You have to remember a lot of times. I mean, Clone Wars the same way. So when you were saying they jump from character to character, that is very much a Japanese anime style as far as story device. Same way with this second episode. It's a filler episode to go through, and some of it's to go through and advance the plot because they had to go through, for the second episode, like they had to go through and establish the Bad Batch knowing that Rex is not affected by the inhibitor chip. You had to have Hunter learn about the inhibitor chip. They did fan service because they were able to go through and use Cut as that location to do fan service of saying there's other clones that weren't affected by the inhibitor chip. But it moved the plot along. It wasn't one of those big episodes, big moment episodes, but it definitely moved the plot along more. I think as the season goes along, you'll look back on that episode to realize how much that episode actually advanced the plot.
Well, it's setting up the universe. It's transitioning the clones to an antagonistic force now. They're not the good guys anymore.
And as Echo said, the clones went from wanting names and not being tied to a number to now having the whole universe tied to a number.
Right.
And I get that. I do. But it's just, I don't know. It really fell flat to me in a lot of ways. And I think fact that Omega is Grogu and Hunter is Din the Mando.
Right,
and it's like we're getting the tough guy becomes a dad, and like I think it was it King Baelish or Luke that said like the episode where Wrecker teaches her about periods is going to be a hoot, and it's just.
Yeah, I mean, jokes already out there. The Dad Batch and things like that.
The Dad Batch. I mean, like I said, I love the first episode. I'm invested. I'm going to watch it. I love Star Wars. It's just a very minor complaint.
Yeah, there's always going to be episodes like that because they're trying to advance a plot line or trying to go through and introduce something. What seemed trivial at the time actually turns into something a little bit major. But let's looking into the future here. Last week we did go over the Jedi Master Kenobi requirements and what we thought about it. So I thought it would actually be fun to go through and actually write everything down because we were just kind of naming characters off the top of our heads last week, and I don't think we actually hit the amount needed. So I think we should each go through a list here of. So we have the 5 of Mace, General Kenobi, Ayla, the Negotiator, and Bo-Katan. Now, what do you think the next 10 characters, and let's break it up into groups of 5 of what we think is going to be coming.
Are we doing guaranteed and then possibilities?
We could do either or. I mean, I think probably the guaranteed 5 would probably be the best to start off with.
All right, Stan, lay it on us. Who are your 5 guarantees?
Guarantee's a strong word, but I think that it is likely we'll get Plo Koon, just because he's an underutilized character with the ship. Grievous, because he was a foil for Kenobi, hasn't been used for anything as a requirement yet, I don't believe. Darth Maul, potentially, if they don't use him for the Dark Side Galactic Legend. And Commander Cody, I think, is a real strong possibility. Those would be the ones I'd be willing to put money on the table for.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, wow.
That's
way outside the guarantees that I was thinking, but you
Yeah.
might have the other characters that I have listed as maybes, but who do you have, Cottman?
all right. My guarantees are Cody, so I agree with him because he was like his top 212 lieutenant. Anakin, I don't know which one, if it's going to be Jedi Knight or General. I think if I was a betting man, they would do General just because it makes it a little harder to get him. Qui-Gon, and I'm going to go into nut punching territory. Qui-Gon R7. And
he seems to be pretty good with Kiadi-Mundi, so that would only be a temporary gut punch as far as that one goes.
My last two are going to be Ahsoka, and then the teenage Ahsoka, and then Plo Koon. Those are my 5 that I am. I'm not willing to put money on it, but I'm pretty strong.
All right. So I'm much more aligned with Cottman as far as this one goes. I'm thinking Qui-Gon. I mean, you have his master. That makes sense that he's going to be required.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with both of you with Cody. Definitely think that's pretty much a given. Ahsoka. Just the original Ahsoka. And then I do agree with you. General Anakin Skywalker or Jedi Knight Anakin. I have a feeling it'll be General Skywalker just because Jedi Knight Anakin's already required for other characters. The 5th that I'm saying is a definite. I have 2 I'm bouncing back and forth between, but I'm going to say Rex.
Okay.
Has a ship, not technically required for any other characters. Will fit into is required in territory battles, and also plays a pivotal part in the Clone Wars with Ahsoka, Anakin, and Kenobi.
I didn't even have him on my 10.
See? There you go. I think Rex will be in it. I think there's going to be, and that one I kind of grouped together, kind of as my the clone battalion as far as who fought together so much in the Clone Wars, that they would actually come out together like within the next batch, because usually they try to group them up and kind of have a theme to what's required.
Okay, so Stan, what are your 5 that you're not willing to put money on the table for?
Kind of going with the clones, just Clone Sergeant. Again, kind of underutilized, is needed for territory battles. Some of the shit Galactic Republic Jedi, Kit Fisto, Eth Koth. And I'm just looking at this from a business perspective. They're trying to squeeze every last little dime out of these old characters that nobody's using. And we'll probably get 1 or 2 marquees down the road that we'll have to farm up. So maybe
you think we're going to get another one to join Bo-Katan?
Possibly, yeah.
The only one that really makes sense then would be Satine.
Yeah.
As far as character, if you're going through and tying it in with Kenobi, would be Satine. That would really be the only fit for that. In my aspect. And that would go through and tie in with the Mandalorians, which they're already building out also.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
So what's the next 5 you got, Cottman?
Okay, I have Kit Fisto, Padme, Luminara, Shakti, and then I put this as a double, but I don't know which. It depends on who's going to be the second legend, and if it is going to be Darth Maul, I think it'll be Grievous. If it's going to be a fallen Anakin, I think it'll be Darth Maul.
All right.
I'm writing these down on the outline so we can come back and see how wrong or right we were.
Okay. So my next 5 are going to be Luminara, Plo Koon, Grandmaster Yoda, Padme, and then General Grievous.
Okay. The Yoda one I could see, because he is the Grandmaster of the Order at the time. That's a good one. Okay. Go for it, Stan. Oh, you already said yours. You already said yours.
Yeah, I'm going to throw Jedi Knight Guardian out there.
Oh,
It's another FU character.
Even CG's not that evil.
Yeah, I think pretty much with all these characters, I mean, a lot of them are going through the required other places. I see a couple of them changing. Like, Luminara might not actually be there, and it might be Kit Fisto instead. Or like Padme. Might not be there, and that might actually throw in. And that next batch of 5 for me might be all Jedi with General Grievous. I could see that. And being that last batch being the Jedi Council.
So we're kind of sidestepping the big turd in the punch bowl here. So what do you guys put percentage-wise on Ki-Adi-Mundi being a requirement?
No. I don't think Ki-Adi-Mundi is going to be required. I think he's going to be one of those characters that are going to make the team.
Okay.
And so it's like it's not required, but if you want to actually use the character in a useful manner, you pretty much want him in the team.
I 100% agree with you for one reason. How can they monetize him? Mm-hmm. And they can't. But I could say, what do you think, Stan?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same mindset. He'll probably be needed for the team, but yeah, there's no way to monetize him. And just as slow as that farm is, that's going to lock a lot of the player base out of this character for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think the way they're designing that, and even the characters that we have listed, it's requiring people to gear up characters to do better within light side territory battles, which will go through and kind of facilitate getting more Ki-Adi-Mundi shards and things like that throughout the time playing. And then now that we went through the requirements, it seems like we're going to be getting a note on who the next Galactic Legend will be. I don't know whether it's going to be after. It sounded like after all these requirements are done that they're going to announce it. So I don't know whether like this Jedi Kenobi is going to be out, farmable, and people start unlocking them, and which will start going over the next set of requirements, or it'll just kind of roll right into it. Hey, Jedi Kenobi's now farmable, and they immediately start announcing the characters for the next Galactic Legend, or you think there's going to be a time in between?
I think it'll be immediate. They like to capitalize off the excitement of the announcement and get people in the game, and
I think they want to
bucks out.
I think they want to give Jedi Master Kenobi some time in the sun, and I bet like maybe September, October is when we get the requirements, and it'll be like the final quarter push to get the second one.
Yeah, to me, I'm thinking, I'm not sure how quickly they're going to announce all these characters, but I think basically Jedi Kenobi's going to be farmable for, say, a week or two, and then they'll go right into the next batch, announce the next Galactic Legend, and start going into the characters required for it. I wouldn't even be surprised if they go through and put Jedi Kenobi, or like release Jedi Kenobi's kit 1 week, and then the same week that he becomes farmable, that they start announcing the next Galactic Legend and the requirements, because they said they didn't want people to go through and have to pick and choose between two characters simultaneously. So I see it like almost being consistent. There's always going to be a new Galactic Legend appearing one after another now.
See, I just think they're gonna let Kenobi marinate for a little bit.
Well, they don't like people saving up and hoarding.
Yeah.
They want you always to feel that crunch.
Well, they sure let us save up and hoard between Master Luke and C and this guy.
They did, yeah.
Well, that, and my thought also with that is, how long they're actually going to be. It's going to take to announce all the requirements is going to be that time for people to farm Kenobi, get Kenobi, and have that as the marinating and enjoyment of Jedi Kenobi being out there in the wild without having any counter or anything like that to them, and going through at least having the character. You aren't going to have a kit. You're just going to have Maul or another character, Fallen Anakin, with requirements that you could be farming up for. And it's going to take, it could take over a month or 2 months by the time they go through and announce everything.
Okay, so here's to bounce off that. So we have Rey, who is the Resistance Galactic Legend. Mm-hmm. We have Kylo, First Order. Luke and C are the Sith and the Jedi Galactic Legends. I think Jedi Master Kenobi is going to be the Galactic Republic Galactic Legend, but then that would indicate that there's going to be a Separatist, and I can't think of who that would be.
Darth Maul.
Would he be considered a Separatist?
Not really, but he's definitely
he's not going to have a tag.
To Kenobi.
Maul really wouldn't have a tag at that point, would he?
Yeah, he'd just be Maul.
Would he be a scoundrel?
Not at that point in time.
Well, he'd take it. Would he? Okay. Well, here's another one that kind of I thought, but I was like, it's kind of a half-baked idea. Would he be a Mandalorian?
If they went for that very specific time frame, yeah, I could see it.
Because that's when he was the head of state of Mandalore when Commander Tano came out, and that whole thing.
Yeah, that would be cool, and have some Mando loyalists in there, and
then they could force us to farm up Gar Saxon.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be interesting.
Yeah, what character are you leaning to for the next Galactic Legend that's going to go through and go alongside Jedi Kenobi then, Cottman?
I keep going back and forth. My first thing was Maul, but then I read the description where Kenobi in the Jedi in the quest thingamajigger, and it specifically calls out the Revenge of the Sith aspect. And so then I was like, okay, it's going to be Fallen Anakin. But I just cannot see Fallen Anakin being a Galactic Legend because he was literally Fallen Anakin for like 30 minutes. He kills kids, kills a bunch of sycophants, and then gets his body mangled before he becomes Darth Vader. So then I'm back to Maul being the obvious choice, but then I don't know what his tags would be. So it's going to be one of those two, but if you ask me today, I say Maul.
I'm firmly on Maul. I don't think it'll be anything else. To me, it's just Maul.
Okay. What do you think, Stan?
I could see it go either way. Personally, I'd like it to be Maul, but I could also see it being just Fallen Anakin because it's been such a asked for character, even though it doesn't make a whole lot of sense canonically. I think they would love to put the Mustafar battle into the game, just as part of the cutscene and the Galactic Legend event. That would look pretty cool.
Yeah, because that's true. Because Jedi Kenobi and Maul didn't have their climactic battle. That was with Commander Ahsoka.
Yeah.
But Maul has always been Kenobi's foil.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, going back for that, I mean, for Galactic Legend, I mean, technically they could do the battle from the Phantom Menace with Qui-Gon and Kenobi.
Mm.
Yeah, you could do old Ben.
Yeah. I mean, well, I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the characters I had written down. Depending on what you're going to be using it for, if they go through and do that, they could have Old Ben against Maul.
If they had that Old Ben versus Maul fight as one of the cutscenes, like, I would giggle with happiness.
That would be cool.
The rock, paper, scissors match.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
I just think it's definitely geared up a lot more towards Maul than anything else. I mean, to me, the only other close one would be General Grievous.
one of the things that I think really is a big hint towards Maul is the Bo-Katan inclusion, because Bo-Katan and Kenobi together fought Maul.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a huge hint.
Yeah. But sounds like we're starting to convince Stan a little bit more towards Maul.
I can
from
see
his
it,
original impression.
Yeah.
Which I mean, definitely not upset about. Definitely not upset about at all.
Maul would be cool. He needs all the recognition he can get. He's a cool dude.
And I do think it's gonna definitely at that point be Robo Legs Maul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that would be a very cool animation aspect of it, and seeing the character model actually having his legs as robotic and everything like that.
And then we would need Phoenix to get him, because Phoenix was a big Maul thing, and my R5 Zeb will make all the difference in the world.
There you go. It comes full circle. All right. Any more on Galactic Legends?
No, I think
covered that
we're pretty good right now. We're just waiting on anticipation to see how we did with our requirement predictions.
Yeah, can't wait. And we will record again before he comes out. I promise you.
I don't know. You did think it was Thanksgiving, so I'm
I'm just used to our old tempo.
Oh.
So I just assumed it was 4 months from now.
Well, that's CG. That was CG's old tempo also. So
true. Yeah.
They've stepped it up.
Yes,
they have. Yeah. So we're gonna have to step it up too. They stepped up Galactic Challenges. There's 10 tiers now. So that's nice.
I'll just go to the last one and battle, and then go through and try.
Same, yeah.
Well,
but yeah, starting out there was a weird difficulty jump. So for some of the newer players, you do 2 or 3 no problem, and then just get stomped. So I think this is gonna let that kind of play out a little smoother.
Now I found a YouTuber, a SWGOH YouTuber, that does a really good job with all the Galactic Challenges, that I tend to go through, go in there, battle, figure out what feats and everything I don't have done, and then go to his YouTube channel to figure out how to complete it. I don't know if either one of you stumbled upon it, Scribe Gaming.
I've heard it, but I don't.
He does a very good job, pretty much either the day it comes out, or even sometimes a couple hours after the Galactic Challenges come out. He'll have a video to go through what the best team is, and even if he doesn't have the team, he goes through and tries to show how many feats he can get with his roster at the time.
Okay,
yeah, definitely a good YouTube channel to go through and follow up to try to make these Galactic Challenges a little bit more, because some of them you just go through and those feats are killer sometimes. Being able to beat the tier isn't really that bad. Trying to get the challenges and the feats are sometimes next to impossible, depending on what it is.
Yeah, that is true. Anything else in the game we missed? As far as the update goes?
So we've covered everything.
Yeah, they're rolling along with the marquees. We got Dark Trooper free to play on the 4th in time for double drops, so that was nice. And he's on a cheap node, so hey now. Did not expect that, so that was a nice surprise. So we got Bo-Katan coming up next. It's gonna be interesting to see. I'm expecting a 20 energy ship node for her, just because it's a Galactic Legend requirement. Hunter went to shipments. That Did they mention that Bad Batch is going to be an accelerated release? I thought I read that, but I don't remember. Or have they already been out? No, because we just had the marquees.
We had the Hunter Marquee was... You have to remember the Hunter Marquee was also like 4 weeks long.
True.
It was like, hey, the Marquee pack's there, and it's on for 28 days. And I'm like, oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. I think it's a little accelerated, but hey, whatever. I'll take it. I'm sure they want to get all these characters out before the season ends, so they have 16 weeks to get them out there.
Yeah.
So we got Echo release. So it's looking like June we'll have most of these going to be free to play for Bad Batch,
which would coincide right with the end of the season.
Yeah,
and possibly more characters coming out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I can see them basically going through. That was kind of what I was alluding to with that 5th member. I could see it taking until the end of the season of the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
So they might go through. We're stuck with 4. These characters will become farmable, and then we'll see like another 2 or 3, or maybe even just 1 here. Probably right there in July, beginning of July.
Yeah, and it would be cool if they were able to get that in tune with the show. Like, oh, hey, we just had a crazy episode with this huge twist and surprise characters in the game. That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I also had another thought with Crosshair is if they don't release... he's coming to the game. I have zero doubt. But what happens if he is an Imperial trooper?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, he could be like another leader, so like they could start to flesh that out because they're probably going to be doing more stuff, with Empire and Imperial Remnant.
Yeah, I mean, they could do some interesting things with a new... Well, not a new, but keep evolving that trooper team. You get out of a General Veer's lead, and you get into a Crosshair lead with Dark Trooper and Range Trooper and some other characters.
Magma Trooper, yeah.
Jerry's not going to be in there. Come on.
You might have to use him.
He'll light Crosshair on fire, and Crosshair will just get rid of him.
He'll just shoot him.
Yeah. Crosshair doesn't take any of that shit. Oh, man.
Right,
so who you bumping and grinding on?
Hey, I asked you first. I'm just hoarding gear. I'm no fun. Y'all can go.
Stands back to his hoarding of gear.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm trying to go through and right now with Razor Crest, it looks like I'm going to be 1 shard short of unlock, which doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. I don't have Beskar Mando anyway, so it's not like I could unlock the ship to be. So I've been farming Quill, IG-11, Kara, just to try to go through and get them all up to 7 stars. That way I can go through and actually unlock Beskar Mando, mainly so I can go through and unlock the Razor Crest and actually use that. That was kind of the main thought behind there. And other than that, I'm going through farming tickets for Jedi Master Luke and gearing up for the Kenobi requirements.
Event tickets. So much fun.
It doesn't bother me. I just go through and just have to focus on light side. That's the only tickets I'm like I hit Mace at a certain point and it's all like dark side gear pieces, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna buy that out of the store and gonna hold off on gearing Mace any further. I'll go through and gear Ayla up a little bit more. What are you working on, Cottman?
I'm essentially doing what Stan's doing, but I'm also farming Dark Trooper. He's the only one. I'm at 12 of 85 on him.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I forgot I was farming him too. I'm at 31. So yeah, you're pretty far ahead of me there.
I bought a couple of those $12.99 packs. And
gotcha.
Yeah, I didn't get any great hits. I bought I want to say 6 of them, and I kind of gave up. And today I had been doing really well with them. I've been doing 3 refreshes, and then for the past 2 days, and I got like, I want to say 12 shards, whatever. Today I went over 15. So
nice.
that was a nice. I was like, oh, I guess it all evens out.
It was like my Mon Mothma grind with double drops. Hey, we got double drops, and guess what? Double drops of 0 is 0.
Right.
That's the worst.
Yeah. All right. Man, let's get into some Star Wars news, which we kind of already went with all the Bad Batch stuff. Was there anything else, Stan, that you caught along the Star Wars news front?
Yeah, there were some Cassian and Kenobi set pictures got out there. Kenobi showed some Tatooine, big shocker there. And Cassian pictures were kind of weird. It was on a beach with shore troopers. So we don't know if it's a more Scarif. They're going to show a different side of that or what. But I always like seeing shore troopers. They're one of my favorite troopers. Any chance to get to see those, I'm happy.
Not going to go with your pre-episode flashback theory.
Right, yes. That's not surprise, he survived, and he was telling his kids.
Life is just a circle.
Right.
Maybe he just likes the beach. That's why he ended up Scarif to begin with, so it might just be his thing, Stan.
Could be, yeah.
He only takes missions that are on a beach with shore troopers, because that's just who he feels comfortable with. Oh, man.
Well, do we want to talk about the ridiculous whitewashing controversy?
Yeah, we...
Nah.
I
don't, but y'all can.
I mean, we can go over it. It was one article that I saw complaining about Bad Batch whitewashing the clones. And basically, it just went through at the very end. If you look at everything, the clone's skin color is actually a little bit whiter than it was in the original Clone Wars show. And the producers came out and said, it's just the lighting effects that were used, and we'll go through and adjust it to better reflect the show. I was like, I just thought it was funny. I was like, man, people have a lot of time on their hands to go through and put screenshots and complain about essentially the lighting effects making the clone's skin color look a little bit whiter than they felt they should.
Well, I thought the part where they were talking about like their new favorite food was mayonnaise sandwiches, and like they had the clone Brayson. That was kind of weird, but
that just seems just.
Yeah, I'm. So send your complaints to cantinavizla@gmail.com. Leave us a review.
Good lead into reviews there, Stan.
Exactly, yeah.
Don't tell us the good, just tell us how bad Stan's comments were.
Right, yeah. Just say, I'll take it. Any attention's good attention.
Oh, man. On that note, we should get on out of here.
We should, yeah. It's been a show. Yeah, find us on Discord. That's where we like to hang out and talk about this stuff all day long. And like we joke, it is the text-based version of the podcast when we can't seem to find our microphones.
Or Stan can only find his phone in between paint fumes.
That's it. Yeah, we got a Patreon. It's kind of in remission right now. We're gonna talk and see what we can do to kind of jazz that back up before we start advertising it. But if you want to leave us a tip, I won't complain. Email cantinavizla@gmail.com. That's about it. Y'all got anything?
No,
not right now. Now that we're getting back in the swing of things, we'll find a little bit more. Go through, get back into our bread and butter with squad management and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. What characters to go after, what teams to build, and counters, and make things work rather than just going through and just farming whatever's meta. I mean, that's easy. Going through and trying to figure out how to spread your resources, because CG definitely seems like they're ramping back up and requiring the player base to make decisions now. And if we get a lot more ships, it's going to become a lot more important on whether you're going after Galactic Legends or you're going after farming these ships to help your ship arena and possibly even raids now.
Oh, can't wait. I love ships.
Yeah. That is definitely the part of the game that I enjoy, and yeah, I enjoy staring at my roster, figuring out who I should waste my resources on. But, man, so far so good, and if CG keeps it up, we'll keep it up, and we'll go from there. So, any last words, guys?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, everybody. So, until next time, later.